Hey there, gorgeous. Just wanted to quickly tell you about my memberships are now available. And if you so desire, and you want to see a picture of me currently surrounded by Squishmallows, because I am, they are all staring at me. But they are my soundproofing, so I have to accept this fact. If you want to see that, you can become a moist paper bag or higher, and you'll get to see that and some other pictures I already have up there. But now that I have that shameless self-promotion out of the way, let's finally talk about Baldur's Gate 3. That's what you're fucking here for. Let's get to it. Firstly, I want to disclose that all the footage shown was not recorded by me, but is from promotional footage of the game. The reason for this is that Baldur's Gate 3 did not run well on my PC. I still trooped through it, yes, but by no means was it always a pleasant experience, and I want your eyes to be pleased when you watch this video. So I want to show you what this game can look like if you have a better computer than me. Because Baldur's Gate 3 is a gorgeous game, but the sacrifice for that is functionality on lower end hardware, taking a hit as always. My PC is running with an Nvidia 1660 Ti and 18 gigs of RAM. So not the worst by any means, but certainly not the best. I tweaked around with the settings and found the game to run pretty okay on low settings with some spikes here and there of stuttering, but the medium and above settings were like watching a picture show. While this game is in early access and some stabilization and optimization will surely come later on, at the state it is presently, and I cannot entirely recommend this for those of you with a lower end PC like myself. But with that out of the way, let's continue this review with the assumption you can run this baby, or just don't mind low quality graphics. First off, let's talk about the presentation of this game in terms of art direction and UI. It's a gorgeous game that adapts the D&D world so fantastically. You will absolutely find yourself lost in it. The character creator to begin with is fantastic. Its interface is slick. The customization is in-depth and glimmering. And you even get to design a second character that acts as your character's ideal mate, so to speak. They don't end up in your party, so far at least, but I imagine there's some plot stuff that'll come along with that later on. This helped me get into the mind of my character before I even started the game, although it wasn't quite as in-depth when it comes to character personalities and their voices as Solasta is, but it was still superb. Now, after you create your character, you are immediately tossed into a beautiful shit show. If you've seen the opening cinematic they released 2 years ago, you know where this starts. Mild spoilers ahead for those who care, but if you want to see my final notes on the game, skip to the timecode on screen. Alright. You'll find yourself on a Lovecraftian-style flying ship that's been attacked by a group of dragon riders. Yeah, I know. Fucking badass. You will head throughout the ship, finding other passengers and just looking for things in general to use to protect yourself. Essentially, you get to loot Goblin out for a bit, and there's some pretty damn good loot in this opening prologue that you could completely miss. After you stumble through the ship, potentially finding some members who can join your party, or not, completely depends on what you do. Quick sidebar, the fact that you can miss entire interactions with party members in the opening act by just being lazy and zooming through or taking a different path is one of the reasons I love these games by Larian Studios. They make such massive webs of decisions and characters that it feels so incredibly dynamic, giving their games an amount of replayability that is impressive even for a CRPG. Now that my slight dick sucking is out of the way, hey man, Larian has earned some good sloppy toppy at this point. Let me return to the topic at hand. As you stumble throughout the ship, you will eventually find yourself met with the Mind Flayer spearheading the ship in a duel with one of the Dragon Riders. After you activate the ship's jump drive, so to speak, you are flung into the earth, and at this point, when you awaken on the beach after the collision, the real game begins and the world is open to you. I won't spoil any more, as that was the opening segment, so I didn't feel too bad telling you about it, but henceforth this story is yours to create more than ever. So in terms of the plot that I did get to play after that prologue, it's excellent, dude. I don't know what else to say. The writing is as good as it gets. The characters and their personalities are well defined and intriguing, and the voice acting brings the whole game to life in superb fashion, as always. Clearly you've noticed that I'm a Larian fanboy myself, but that is because they haven't disappointed me yet. It is important to note that the endgame of this title is not yet available to the public though, mostly to avoid spoilers before the game's full release was their reasoning, so you won't get to quote-unquote finish a playthrough quite yet. The early access only has Act 1 of the game, with the final acts releasing with the official drop of the game. It is releasing in 2023, so you shouldn't have to wait too long. But if that is something that super bothers you, don't get this until it comes out. And in terms of any other negatives, while we are on that train of thought, there are some minor visual glitches every once in a while here and there, especially on my lower end PC. But as always, it's early access, that's part of the point. It's going to be a tad buggy here and there, but I never had anything entirely game breaking whatsoever. But for those of you who just want to explore this gorgeous world this game has to offer, you are in for a welcome treat. This is a game that is going to revitalize the CRPG genre, assuming it sticks its landing obviously, but I'm very confident that they will. It's the next bar that I imagine we will hold this genre to. It has raised my expectations and impressed me on numerous occasions. I often find myself regretting buying games at their premium prices. Sure, they can be a great game, but something about buying a AAA single-player game hurts my soul a little, since I know I'm only going to play it once, and $60 is a lot of money, especially right now. So when I tell you that Baldur's Gate 3 was easily worth my $60 when it's in early access, you should know that this is a title you should buy eventually. If not now, you should definitely get it when it fully releases. Or maybe snag it on G2A when those prices drop down a little bit. I'm not gonna blame you or shame you. Anyhow, thank you so very much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, would you consider mind melding with that like button? Yeah, that one over there. And if you desire to see more content like this, slap a tentacle onto that subscribe button. But most importantly of all, have a day as absolutely wonderful as you. And don't die. Stay safe.